Hello, Lizzie here. Today I'm going to show you how to make the one-piece purse with a magnetic closure. So at least now you've got a proper way of closing your purse. So there's my piece of fabric. It's just one piece of fabric and it's been stabilised on the back, some interfacing on there just to make it a little bit more stiffer. You can do it or you don't have to do it. So all the dimensions that you need are down below in the description box. So have a look at that and then you'll know how to make it. So once I've cut this out and I've stabilised it, you need to fold it, and your markings are 3.5 inches, another 3.5 inches, 3.25 inches and 3.25 inches, and you need to fold up on those lines. So you could use a heat erasable pen. So there's my first fold there at 3.5. There's my second fold there at 3.5. There's my third, and there's my fourth. Now obviously I've ironed mine to make it quick and easy for you to see, but if you do exactly what I've just done, you can't go wrong. So just to repeat, 3.5, 3.5, 3.25, 3.25, and draw some lines so you can see where to put those folds. So I'm going over the top like that and folding it under like that. Hopefully you can follow that. So then what you need to do is you need to bring this piece over, and so that's kind of it, that raw edge here goes to all of these folds and the raw edge there, and it tucks over. And the idea is it's two seams back across here and across here, across here and across here to actually make the purse. It's so easy. However, this time we want to put in a magnetic closure. So on the measurements I've given you, you need to measure up from the bottom. And I'll get my ruler so we can see. It's 7 inches up from that bottom edge. So where we've made that first fold, 12 inches up, and you're going to make a line. I've already marked mine. And then from the top of the purse, you just measure down 7 inches. So again, I've measured mine and I've marked mine ready. And this is where you put in the magnetic closures, okay? So obviously the magnetic closures go on the right side of the fabric, so we'll do this one first. Now this is the one that's going to come over, so this is like the flap of the purse, so you want it to be the thin edge of the magnetic closure. So the first thing we need to do is we've marked that center point there, but we need to find the middle of our purse. So with our pen, all you need to do is fold your fabric into half lengthwise, just give it a little finger press so you've got a mark, and then mark that with your pen so you know you've got that crisscross, and that's the center of where your magnetic closure is going to go. I'm going to bring in my rubber mat. So if you've got a punch like this, use a rubber mat or a good strong piece of cardboard, and I'm just going to use the backing of the magnetic closure to mark it. Oops. So where the cross is, the circle goes in the cross, and then there's two sort of grooves either side, and you just need to mark those. So if I show you here, there we are. So you can see where those marks are, just above the little dog. Now I'm using non-directional fabric, so it's easier. If you're using directional fabric, you need to consider how that's going to lie. So then just making 2 holes, and then you're going to put the legs of the clasp through those holes on the right side of the fabric, and then put the back on. So just push one and then the other. There we go. So that's our purse clasp done. Now we want to do the clasp that's going to go on the pocket itself at the front of the purse. So again, like I said, I marked it, and I've marked already the center. So I've got a cross there. So I'll do the same again. Put my circle over the cross and mark where the slits are. Again, 2 holes. And pop the popper through. And again, the good side, if you like, of the magnetic closure goes on the good side of your fabric. Pop the clasp in, and then all we need to do is bend those legs again. I do find the back of the scissors are really good for this. And again, a little tap. There we go. So now we're ready to stitch our purse together. So if we go back to where we started, so we're folding here, we've got a fold here, back on itself, and a fold again. Okay, it's like a concertina, and you'll find that your magnetic clasp is on the inside of your fabric. Okay, and that's correct. And then all you need to do is fold this top over again. Now you could use your clips here to hold all those layers together. If you've got a walking foot, then it's a good time to get your walking foot out, and then you're literally going to stitch up those two sides. A good sort of 1/4 of an inch. This is such a great purse to make. And you should really go from the bottom up again. I'll do it. If you do it the other way around, sometimes the fabrics can twist. Lovely. So, trim those corners. Get rid of some of that bulk. I'll pick those bits up later. I think that's going to be my catchphrase from now on. Now if you wanted to, you could use your pinking shears and trim all this fabric back. So I won't do that, but that's what you could do. And then what you're going to do is, where there's a raw edge, so you've got the folds here. So you've got one fold, two folds, you just about see, and you've got the raw edge here. Put your hand in there and turn it through. There we go. So you can see both sides of the fabric, and that's where you turn through. So your hand can go right in there. It's the only place that your hand can go through. And just bring those out. Get the corners out. But then you've still got your pockets. So with the pockets, it's not right yet because you've still got your raw edges here. So with your pockets, you need to turn those back on themselves. So that raw edge actually goes inside the pocket. So it's always a good idea to top stitch the bottom half of that pocket. I'll show you in just a second. So just get your fingers in there and poke those corners out. I'll use the blunt end of my scissors. I'm sure you've got a wonderful pokey tool. Chopsticks, that's all I ever hear. Chopsticks. I must eat a Chinese meal to get a chop stitch. Right, so obviously it needs a good press. And like I say, you need to top stitch along that bottom edge. Let me show you that way. So you need to top stitch along there because at the moment you've still got those raw edges tucked inside that pocket. So there we are. That's our purse made. Can you believe it? So we just marry up those magnetic clasp when it's made. There we go. Super. Two pockets in the front as well. Don't you just love this fabric? So that's the one piece purse with magnetic closure.